Hey guys, so I promised you I'd be doing another top 10, and here it is, my top 10 favorite Devil Fruit users in the One Piece series. Now, if you don't know what One Piece is, it's an anime that's been going on for 15 years in Japan. Okay, so that's all you need to know. It's an anime about pirates, basically, alright? And if you don't know what a Devil Fruit is, here's a Devil Fruit. I'll flash different ones. A Devil Fruit is, if you eat it, you get a certain power, and you can't swim. That's all I need to know. Okay, now if you actually do watch One Piece, and you're going to argue with what I say, and you're not going to like my ideas, this is an opinionated review. I'm not saying the top 10 strongest Devil Fruit users. I'm saying my top 10 favorite, okay? That's all I need to say. Let's get that out of the way. Now, let's start the review. Or top 10, whatever you want to call it. Top 10. Coming in the number 10 slot is Marco the Phoenix, the first division commander of the Whitebeard crew during the War in Marineford. Though he had a major role during the war, we never really heard of what his Devil Fruit actually was called. All we know is that it's one of the only two mythical zone types in existence, the other one being X-Drake's Tyrannosaurus Rex fruit, which is pretty sick itself. But Marco's fruit turns him into an ancient firebird known as the Phoenix. It's even sicker to the fact that he has blue fire rather than red fire, which is obviously known for being more hot. But I just love the art style of his character. I love his calm personality, and yet at the same time he's still a badass. The one scene where he just kicks Kizaru far away, I don't know, that scene just stuck with me, and there's just some characters that leave a good first impression. He's definitely one of them. And now being the lead commander of the Whitebeard Pirates, I hope we get to see more of him in the future. Number 9 on the list is Magellan, the Chief Warden at Impel Down. Though he only appears for the short Impel Down arc, he had a lasting effect on me. Magellan wields the power of the Doku Doku no Mi, or the Venom fruit in English. Basically, he's the guy with the poison fruit. He can shoot big snakes out of his arms made of venom, he calls them Hydras. That's how he beat Luffy. He can release a poison gas to poison all the different guys in the cells in Impel Down. He's just altogether a badass. And really the main reason I put him on my list is because there's no real part in the arc where he was the lesser character. He was always better. He beat Luffy, he beat Shiloh the Rain, and everyone was afraid of him. I'm kinda curious to see how he would match up against other Devil Fruit users in the world. For instance, I really wish he would have participated in the war at Marineford. I'd like to see how he'd match up against people like Diamond Jozu or Marco the Phoenix. It would have been really fun to see. I hope he appears some other time in the series, but I'm not really thinking he will. But either way, I remember his character as being a complete badass who never lost a match. My number 8 would have to be Kizaru, also known as Borsalino. Kizaru is one of the 3 Navy admirals known as one of the most strongest forces in the world, and Kizaru is no exception. He wields the power of the Pika Pika no Mi, also known as the Glint Glint fruit in English. The Pika Pika no Mi is one of the Logias, the strongest type Devil Fruit, where the user, his body turns into a different element. In Kizaru's case, he turns into light. Basically, Kizaru's body is made of light, in which he can travel the speed of light, he can shoot beams of light, and he can basically just kick you or punch you with extreme force where he uses light, I guess. Light. But there's one scene in Sabodia Pelago where Kizaru takes down most of the major rookies in the new era. He just owns their shit. Look at this. He shoots bullets of light, he just kicks them to the ground. At this point in the series, he seems unstoppable. I've also noticed that Kizaru likes to use his feet. This kind of hints at the fact that Kizaru is going to match up with Sanji later on in the series, which they do hint at again in the new theme song of One Piece. I do hope that happens, and I'm really looking forward to their battle. But anyway, Kizaru's a badass. I'm hoping to see a lot more of him, and I'm really looking forward to the battle with Sanji. Coming in the number 7 slot is Aokiji, also known as Kuzan. Aokiji possesses the power of the Hie Hie no Mi, also known as the Ice Ice fruit. The Hie Hie no Mi is a Logia type, just like the Pika Pika no Mi. However, Aokiji's is ice, not light. So Aokiji is an Iceman. Sick, right? Ice Age! I like his voice too. That's another reason he's on this list. Never mind, that's not a reason he's on this list. But I do like his voice. Aokiji is a formal admiral of the Navy, which means he possesses about the same power as Admiral Kizaru. However, he left the Navy after he believed it became corrupt when Akainu became the new fleet admiral. Aokiji now just wanders around on his bike. Pretty sick, he can travel around the ocean on a bike because he can freeze the water. but now we don't really know his true motive. However, we do know that he somewhat supports the Straw Hats. He obviously fought against Luffy in the war in Marineford, but it appears that he seems to support them by leaving Nico Robin with them and later in one of the movies. Either way, Aokiji, I like his personality, I like his laid-back lifestyle, and I just love the idea of an Iceman. Number 6, Edward Newgate, Whitebeard. Holy balls! If you know One Piece, you know exactly why he is on this list. You knew he'd be on this list. Whitebeard. I know I've said it a lot, but this guy is a badass. He has the power of the Gira Gira no Mi, or the Tremor Tremor fruit in English. Basically, he's a quake man. He can make earthquakes appear. He can make tsunamis appear by punching the air. And look at that. Boom! And cracks appear, and then pff, a huge tsunami appears. This guy is sick. He has the power to destroy the whole world. Whitebeard is known as the strongest man in the world. He not only has the Tremor Tremor fruit, but he also is like extremely tough and strong. Like, look at this. He gets stabbed by Squirtle during the war and he's just like, "Son, why are you stabbing me, dude?" Hugs him, then they just go on and keep fighting like nothing happened. Like, dude, you just got stabbed right through your stomach and you're fine. But even later in the war, he's more of a badass. Like, look at this scene. He gets shot like 1,000 times by the Blackbeard crew. He's still standing, and he keeps talking. They're like, "How is he still alive?" And he's still talking. And then he dies standing. Badass. Coming in the number 5 slot is Vice Admiral Smoker. I know I've said it too much in this top 10, but Smoker is a badass. Just look at his art. Look at his hair. Look at his weapon. Holy balls. And in addition to that, his body's made of smoke. He possesses the power of the Logia fruit, the Moku Moku no Mi, also known as the Plume Plume fruit in English. Basically, his body's made of smoke. So he can fly through the air, he can suffocate you, and he can do several other cool things with his ability. But the thing I like most about Smoker is his relationship with Luffy. Yes, Smoker's always hunting down Luffy, but they seem to have a lot of respect for each other. There's already been 2 instances in the series where they've had to work together, and it seemed to go just fine. I like to think of their relationship just like Garp and Gold Roger's relationship was in the past era. Garp was always chasing after Gold Roger, but when Roger died, he entrusted Ace, his son, to Garp. He knew Garp would take care of him and make sure he was safe. I feel it's the same relationship that Smoker and Luffy possess right now, and I really like to see how it progresses in the future. Alright, so Monkey D. Luffy is number 4. I kind of contemplated whether putting Luffy on this list at all, because really, his Devil Fruit isn't very strong, but then again, this is a top list of my favorite Devil Fruit users, not the strongest. So I kind of had to put him in because really, I do like Luffy. He's got a hilarious personality, he's got a pretty funny eating habit, but at the same time, when he needs to, he can be very serious and strong. At the start of the series, he was a badass because he was the only Devil Fruit user, but when we started to meet other Devil Fruit users such as Smoker, he became sort of weak. Yet in the Water 7 arc, when he learned how to use second gear, Luffy became one of my favorite characters. Because now, Luffy can actually compete with other Devil Fruit users. He's fast, and he can kick people's asses like he always says, "I'm gonna kick your ass! I'm gonna kick your ass!" He always said that. When I moved to the Japanese one, now he just goes, sorry for Japanese. But even now, after the 2-year time skip, he's even stronger. How he uses Haki in his battles, such as the Elefante Gatling he used against Hody Jones, was freaking sick. Basically, after the Fishman Island arc, you can just tell that Luffy's freaking strong. And even though we think we saw his full power in the Colosseum, I believe there's still some power he's hiding, and I really hope to see his full power in his battle against Doflamingo. I really hope that's coming up soon. This arc has taken a long time. Number 3 on the list is Don Quixote Doflamingo. Not only is his name really fun to say, Don Quixote Doflamingo, Don Quixote Doflamingo, but he is literally Spider-Man. Yup, he's Spider-Man. He possesses the power of the Ito Ito no Mi, also known as the String String fruit in English. So he's a string man. In other words, he's a spider. He's Spider-Man. He can get people stuck in their webs, and he can fly through the sky on clouds. He is literally Spider-Man. The first time Doflamingo was introduced in the series was in the early 100 episodes, right after Crocodile was defeated, and we even saw him in other arcs such as the Marineford arc, but we didn't learn what his Devil Fruit actually was until just a couple episodes ago. I always wondered what he was. He could control people, he could fly through the air, and now we know. It's because he's Spider-Man! Coming in the number 2 slot, my second favorite character of all time in One Piece, Trafalgar Law. Wow, do I love this guy. From the first time I saw him in the Sabaody Apelago arc, I knew he was a badass. I know I've said it too many times, but Trafalgar Law is a badass. Law has the power of the Ope Ope no Mi fruit, also known as the Op Op fruit in English. He's basically an operation man, yet he's better known as the Death Surgeon, by simply going, "Room!" I love how he says that, by the way. He creates this big blue circle, and inside of it he can basically control anything that happens. It's his operating room. He can cut with his sword and cut your body in half. You'll still be alive, but you'll be split in half. He can go scalpel, rip your heart out, hold it in his hand. He can hide it somewhere. He can switch hearts. He can switch identities of people. He can shock you just like in an operating room. They'd go, clear. He can do that to you. This guy is so sick. And when I first figured out he was making an alliance with Luffy, wow, that was like my favorite part of the series so far. Because at that time, he was just that one character I was like, gosh, this guy's so cool. I was so happy he was in that arc, and when I figured out he was making that alliance, man. However, now he might be breaking the alliance, so hopefully that doesn't happen. I guess there was some history with him and Doflamingo we'll probably learn about in like a month. Because that's how long the arc takes. This arc is long. Alright, number 1. Now keep in mind, this is my favorite characters list. This is not top 10 strongest characters. This guy is not by any means the strongest character in One Piece. Do not get that in your head. He's just one of my favorite characters. I love everything about him. I love his personality. I love his fruit. I love everything. So here we go. Portgas D. Ace, the wielder of the Marimar no Mi or the Flare Flare fruit. Ace is a freaking boss. Oh my gosh, I love Ace. From him flying around in his little boat with his fire, shooting little fire pistols, saying, "Ente!" That was pretty sick, by the way. He's just so sick. I just really wish that he would have lived through the Marineford arc and we could see more of him. He's my wallpaper on my computer, on my phone. I really wish he would have lived. Basically, all I can do now is use him in video games. So that's fun, I guess. But Ace is easily my favorite character in One Piece. I just love his art. I love his story. He's so sick. And I just really, really wish he wouldn't have died. Now we just gotta hope the Flare Flare fruit lives on in... I don't know if I should spoil it. It might have been spoiled already. In the manga, it was already spoiled, so... Yep, Sabo. Sorry guys, if you didn't know that. Spoiler! Ace is now in Sabo. Let's hope it lives on in the Revolutionary Army. The Flare Flare fruit for the win. Oh, alright, I'm finally done. That took me 2 weeks to make. Wow, okay. If you like that video at all, or if you're just a big One Piece fan, make sure to click the like button down below. It'll really help out the channel. If you're interested in watching One Piece, if you don't already after watching this video, I recommend going to kissanime.com. I can't link it right here on the outro, but just go to kissanime.com. They have One Piece, and they have every other anime that I've ever heard of on there, so it's a great place to watch anime if you're interested. Also, here's my gaming channel. We do a lot of group commentaries on there, such as Pokemon triple screens, if that's what you're into. Lastly, if you like this video, I'd recommend subscribing. Click this button right here. Look at that, I got my fingers perfectly aligned. Click this button right here, and you'll subscribe to my channel. And if you do that, you'll be updated on my future videos. I might do more One Piece top 10s. I might do just some video game top 10s. I don't know, whatever I'm in the mood for. So, that's all I got for you. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please remember to click the like button, helps me out so much. And that's it. You hear my voice at the end? It's like, so much.